This story centers around a massive cruise ship named the Poseidon. It is so large that it has many decks, and today, it is filled with people. Everyone is in high spirits because it is the night of the 31st of December, meaning a new year is about to begin. On board, some people are partying, others are playing cards, and some are dancing. Meanwhile, in the ship's control room, the captain senses that something is wrong. He insists that there is definitely a problem. Suddenly, he spots an enormous, towering wave heading directly for the ship. The sight terrifies all the officers, and they frantically try to turn the ship. They manage to change its course, but the wave is so colossal that it completely obscures the moon behind it, indicating it is far larger than the ship itself. An announcement is made warning of a major impending disaster and urging all passengers and crew to be on high alert. Chaos erupts immediately after the announcement, and then the massive wave strikes the ship. The force of the impact is so tremendous that the Poseidon, despite its size, is flipped completely upside down in the sea. The top of the ship is now submerged, and the bottom is facing upwards. As the ship capsizes, objects fall and shatter, and many people drown. Additionally, a huge explosion occurs in the engine room, killing all the officers who were operating the ship. In the main hall, where most people are gathered, an officer addresses the crowd, presenting good news and bad news. The bad news is that a massive tsunami wave has hit the ship, capsizing it completely, making escape impossible from their current location. The good news is that the officers had informed the rescue team just minutes before the wave hit, and they are on their way with helicopters. He assures everyone to stay calm, as they will be rescued soon. We are then introduced to a man named Dylan, who is gathering supplies from a dead officer nearby. A child approaches and asks what he is doing. Dylan replies that he is preparing to leave. The child insists, "You can't leave here." Dylan, aware the ship is upside down, explains that the way out is downwards, which means they must actually go upwards. As he prepares to leave, the child brings his mother, whom Dylan recognizes from a previous encounter. The mother questions Dylan, asking what he told her son about escaping. Dylan confirms he knows a way out. The mother argues that the officer instructed them to wait for help, stating that no one can leave since the ship is upside down. Meanwhile, another man named Robert and an elderly man join them. The old man reveals he is an architect, an expert in designing structures, including ships. He explains that the Poseidon was not designed to float upside down and will eventually sink, killing everyone on board. Robert asks Dylan if he knows the way to the disco. Dylan confirms it's located above them and questions why Robert would want to go there now. Robert explains that his daughter is trapped there, and he intends to rescue her before escaping. Dylan refuses, stating he works alone. Robert then asks for the shortest route upwards, but it becomes clear Dylan doesn't actually know the way. Robert then approaches a ship crew member and asks for the quickest route to the upper decks. He offers the man double his monthly salary to guide them, and the crew member agrees. Robert persuades Dylan that with a guide, their chances of survival are better if they stick together. Dylan reluctantly agrees, and the group sets off for the ship's lower section, which is now the highest point due to the capsizing. Their goal is to reach the large propeller shafts to escape. As they move through the ship, they find all the watertight doors sealed to prevent further flooding, although water has already entered in many areas. The windows and doors are strong enough to hold back more water. They press on, determined to reach the bottom of the ship, now the top, to save themselves. However, their path is soon blocked by a pile of corpses. They pry open an elevator door, but the elevator car is far above. Using a large iron bar, they attempt to force open a forward door but fail. Suddenly, the elevator door on the upper floor opens. The group helps each other climb up to the elevator shaft, but two people are left behind, the old man and the ship's guard. As the others climb, the iron bar supporting them slips and falls, leaving the two men dangling over a deep chasm. A fall would mean certain death. To make matters worse, the elevator above begins descending slowly, threatening to crush them. Dylan grabs the old man's hand while the guide clings to the old man's leg. Dylan tries to pull them up, but the weight is too much. Seeing the elevator about to crush them, Dylan tells the old man to let the guide go to save himself. Reluctantly, the old man kicks the guide away, causing him to fall to his death. Dylan then pulls the old man to safety just as the elevator crashes down, causing a large explosion and fire. Dylan and Robert quickly close the elevator door, but one of their group is now dead, leaving 5 survivors. They continue onward and reach the disco area, where they find Robert's daughter and her friend, adding 2 more to their group, making a total of 7. They must now reach the ship's uppermost part quickly, as the ship is sinking. Their path is blocked once more, and the only way across is via a broken iron railing. Dylan asks if anyone knows another way out. A stowaway girl who has been hiding on the ship reveals herself, explaining she knows the ship well and that there is no other route. 5 people carefully cross the railing one by one and reach the other side. Robert tells his daughter it's her turn, but a drunk man they had met earlier in the disco pushes ahead, insisting he goes first. As he crosses, a large part of the engine falls, crushing him and breaking the railing, which plunges into the water below. Engine oil spills into the water, and sparks ignite a fire on the surface. The drunk man is killed, leaving 8 survivors, but only 5 are on the other side. Robert, his daughter, and Dylan are still trapped, with fire blocking their path. Dylan ties a rope to a pipe and descends into the water, knowing the fire won't reach him underwater. He swims across and secures the other end of the rope, allowing Robert and his daughter to follow. All 8 are now safe and continue their ascent. Dylan, a former Navy man, uses his knowledge of ships to guide them. The scene shifts back to the main hall, where those who stayed behind are waiting nervously. The pressure of the water causes the reinforced glass to shatter, and water floods in with immense force, drowning everyone. The 8 survivors hear their screams and realize the others have perished. Water begins flooding their area as well, and they find a small ventilation shaft as their only escape. Since it's narrow, they proceed single file, with Robert at the front and Dylan at the rear. Water starts filling the shaft from below. When they reach the end, they find a net blocking their way. Robert tries to open it but can't reach the nut securing it. He asks for a coin or metal object to loosen it. The stowaway girl offers a cross pendant from her necklace. A child, with small hands, manages to loosen the nut just as water nearly drowns Dylan. The net opens, and everyone escapes, though Dylan is almost lost. Now they only need to ascend 2 more floors to safety. However, they become trapped in a ballast tank. Water is pouring in, and the only exit is a small door that only opens when the tank is full, allowing water to transfer to another tank. Dylan explains they must fill the tank to trigger the door. Robert's daughter panics, worried the door might not open or they might drown first. Dylan admits he doesn't know but says they have no other choice. Robert and Dylan decide to flood the tank. Once the tank is full, the door initially doesn't open, causing despair, but then it suddenly swings open, and the water pressure carries everyone into the next tank. They have escaped the tank but must now swim to safety. The stowaway girl's clothes get caught on a wire, trapping her. The old man frees her and brings her to the surface, but she has drowned, reducing their number to 7. They finally reach the level with the large propellers, their intended escape route, but find the area submerged and filled with floating debris. Dylan is disheartened, explaining that the exit is underwater and too far to reach. Robert suggests heading higher, resigned to their fate, and thanks Dylan for his efforts. Just then, an explosion in the engine room forces water out, draining the propeller area and revealing the exit. A new problem arises: the propellers are still spinning, and worse, in reverse, creating air pressure that blows objects back towards them. Robert finds a map showing the control room is 150 feet below the propellers, where the fans can be shut off. Despite the danger, Robert volunteers to go. His daughter's friend insists on going instead, but Robert's daughter pleads with him not to. Robert dives in anyway. Meanwhile, Dylan is absent because he and a mother are searching for her little boy, who had wandered off. Dylan finds and rescues the child, returning to the group. Water is rising rapidly, and if the propellers aren't stopped, they will all drown. Robert reaches the control room and finds the button to stop the propellers is broken. Running out of air, he sees a button that reverses the propeller direction and presses it just before dying. The propellers reverse, changing the airflow. Robert's daughter's friend realizes this and tells Dylan they can now throw something to jam the propellers. They use a large gas cylinder, which Dylan hurls into the blades, causing a massive explosion that stops them. The group escapes through the propeller shafts onto a lifeboat that was stored on the Poseidon. As they row away, the sinking ship threatens to fall on them, but they manage to get clear. The once magnificent Poseidon, which hours before was sailing calmly, now sinks beneath the waves. They fire a flare gun, and the rescue team spots them, saving all 6 survivors. Thus, the story concludes.